What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. If you're one of my few subscribers, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm riding a 2009 KLX that I just recently picked up. It has some modifications. It didn't have any modifications. It was pretty much factory. I got it with about 400 miles on it. It has 488 now. I've done some modifications almost immediately, just because I want to get it ready for riding off-road. I have a couple of buddies that want to get into riding, and I've been looking for a KLX250 for a little bit because of how inexpensive they are. I was like, okay, that'll be good to have a good, second backup bike, and something that I can, that's not intimidating, that I can have some friends try out and kind of learn how to ride off-road and see if they like it. Hopefully they'll get their own bikes. But right away, I mean, when it was factory, it felt a little slow to me. Didn't feel that great. Wasn't bad. It probably a good, decent bike for transportation if you're already an experienced rider. But it definitely felt choked up. So this bike has an exhaust, a bigger intake snorkel that I put on, and it was jetted for those, which really kind of uncorked it and runs a little better now. I'm not gonna say it's, not breaking any land speed records, and I'm sure it gave it a little bit more power. Nothing crazy, but just the feeling of it does feel better than it did. So I did those. But I mean, if you're looking for like a review of a factory bike, or what somebody thinks about the bike, like, oh, this is brand new KLX that's from the factory, then I mean, there's a ton of them. This, like, right away, I just like dug right into this bike just to get it ready for riding off road. But yeah, I mean, my thoughts on the bike are the seat. At first, I kind of flip-flopped. I thought it was comfortable, then I thought it was uncomfortable. Now I'm back to thinking it was comfortable. I think when I first started riding it, I haven't ridden in weeks, so I think I just wasn't used to riding. When I first sat on it, I'm like, oh yeah, it's pretty comfortable, but then I started riding around, and it started to hurt my butt, but I think I just wasn't used to riding. After riding it for a while, this is a decent seat. I've heard people complain about it, but there's like so many bikes that just have just awful seats that feel like wood, and the transition on the side from the flat to the side is like awful on a lot of bikes. They're like, it's so abrupt and sharp, and it gets you right on your like sit bones on your butt, and they hurt. But this seat's not bad. The suspension is surprisingly good for such an inexpensive bike. It is super soft at first. Well, I shouldn't say at first. I mean, it's super soft. But I think a lot of people that complain about that maybe just don't adjust their compression, because you have compression adjustment on the forks and on the shock, and then you have rebound adjustment on the shock. There's no rebound adjustment on the forks. But after I adjusted the compression, I mean, it's good. Like, I have no complaints about it. I'm 215 pounds. I think the suspension feels fine. Like, to me, it's like, I would say on like a KTM, it's like the standard setting, like what you would get on the bike when you get it from the dealer, like without any adjustments on the clickers, just like what it's set at factory, which is like somewhere in the middle. There's like soft settings, and then there's like hard settings, and then there's like the standard in the middle. I would say it's probably about the middle, but I have this adjusted almost all the way to the stiffest that can go. I think I'm like 2 clicks out from the stiffest. But yeah, I mean, it's not bad. And power-wise, like I said, now that it's been uncorked, it's not bad. I mean, it's not amazing, but it's not a turd. Like, I thought it was a turd at first. I was pretty disappointed when I first got on this bike. I was like, man, this thing is slower than I thought it was going to be, like than I imagined. And I was imagining it was going to be pretty slow. But honestly, that might have been a little too harsh anyway. I think it was maybe how quiet the bike was. The factory exhaust is so quiet I could hear the engine. I couldn't hear the exhaust, dude. It's like engine noise is what you hear. So I think that how quiet it was kind of tricked you into thinking that it's like slower than it is. Because I would look down and I'd be like, oh, you know what? I'm going, you know, riding around with my turn signal on. So I'm not used to this. On my FE350, I have the European switch, so it's like a toggle. And then when I turn it on, I keep my finger on it, and then I toggle it off. This, I keep forgetting I have to hit that button to turn it off. So I keep riding around like a grandpa with my turn signal on. But anyway, yeah, the power's decent. I mean, it's this now is like what I was expecting. Where it's not, you know, it can get out of its own way, but it's not intimidating, and it's not going to get away from you. Like, there's no way, well, I shouldn't say no way, because some people do crazy things, but in my mind, I don't see how you can whiskey throttle this bike and it gets away from you and, you know, puts you out into the woods off the trail or anything. It's pretty mild. So, I mean, you got to really rev this thing out to get it going. That's like how I find that you need to ride it, is just, you know, revving it out, keeping your momentum, and, you know, carrying your speed through the corners on the trails. Because it doesn't have like a ton of torque to, you know, once you know, go through a turn and then like throttle out. Like, obviously you can still do that, but it's not a ton of torque to get you going again. So to me, I just try to take the turns as you know, carry as much speed as I can through the turns and keep the revs up as much as I can, because that's where the power is. I feel like on this bike, it's like up high, not down low. But yeah, I mean, so far I'm having a good time with it. I'm gonna have a bunch of videos. I have at least 3 already lined up in my mind to, you know, ready to go in my own mind. But some of it I have filmed. But yeah, I do plan on also taking this out for like a whole day and riding it on like the same single track trails that I would go out on the FE350, and see what it's like to live with this for a day, kind of riding enduro. Maybe not so much hard enduro, but just like, you know, enduro trail riding. So we'll see how that goes. But you know, I'm excited to get some people involved with riding. Okay, what are you just gonna go? Alright, I'll go. Ay. Hopefully this person stops at the stop sign. Okay, because they didn't look like they wanted to stop. Where was I? Oh yeah, videos. Yeah, so I'm gonna make a bunch of videos on this bike. Hopefully people like it. I mean, this is a pretty popular bike, so I think it'll be interesting for people, especially new riders. This is definitely a bike that's probably on their radar, or on your radar, I should say. So hopefully, you know, you find the content enjoyable and useful. I kind of want to just get to the bottom of, you know, how far you can take a new bike, or not a new bike, I mean a beginner bike. Like, kind of see, just out of curiosity, how far and what you can do with it. Like, what are the limits of it? But I mean, obviously I would have the bike either way, because I want it for beginners like that I know, like friends and family that are going to be learning to ride. So it's going to serve that purpose as well. But while I have it, might as well make use of it and you know, like I said, see what the limits are, see what this bike can do. Man, a lot of people out. Alright, I'm gonna start heading back. if you know, if you're interested in this content, and this is like something that, you know, you want to see more of, you want to see more of, I guess, kind of the story of this KLX that I have, you know, like and subscribe, and tune in later to check out my future videos. All right, thanks guys.